Welcome to a breaking news report here at Back to Warcraft, because the family of Activision Blizzard and everybody who likes to play Activision Blizzard games woke up to crazy news today. Insane news, probably unthinkable news, especially if you ask people 10 years ago. Microsoft and Xbox have bought Activision Blizzard for a whooping $69 billion. This was flooding into my Twitter timeline by Jason Schreier, who reports this. Breaking. The Washington Journal reports that Microsoft is buying Activision Blizzard, the troubled publisher behind Call of Duty and World of Warcraft, which has been facing crisis over the last few years. Jason Schreier has reported pretty much every single news about Blizzard, whether it be the harassment news or also everything regarding Warcraft 3 Reforged in the past couple of months. So this was a credible source, and of course Washington Journal there as well. This was posted early afternoon European time, and just moments after this, it was confirmed. So the rumor became true in a matter of seconds, as this was posted on the Xbox homepage, welcoming the incredible teams and legendary franchises of Activision Blizzard to Microsoft Gaming. This, of course, means all the Blizzard franchises: Overwatch, Diablo, Warcraft with World of Warcraft and Warcraft 3 Reforged, but also the Activision franchises in Call of Duty and the mobile games franchises as Candy Crush. This is pretty insane. This is a huge acquisition by Microsoft, one of the biggest in the gaming, and you could argue that this is not that great for the gaming industry, as it could lead to a monopoly. A couple of news here in the statement right there. Until the transaction closes, Activision Blizzard and Microsoft Gaming will continue to operate independently. Once the deal is complete, the Activision Blizzard business will report to me as CEO, that is the CEO of Microsoft Gaming, Phil Spencer. Here in the second column, sentence here, is for us probably the most important news. Upon close, we will offer as many Activision Blizzard games as we can within Xbox Game Pass and PC Game Pass, which is basically Netflix for gamers. And that could be insane for Warcraft 3, if you ask me, because we are probably all boomers, right? We don't pay attention too much on what's happening outside the Warcraft 3 world. As I said, Game Pass, Netflix for gamers, what it does is you pay a subscription and you sign in to the program, and then you can play all of the games that are on the PC Game Pass. That is all of the Microsoft games, all of the Microsoft published games. This also means a couple of EA games, and then the Activision and Blizzard games as well. This starts at $9.99 a month, which is, I think, cheaper than a World of Warcraft subscription at the moment. So if you're a World of Warcraft player, for example, you just continue paying. It might be even cheaper for you, and you got access to hundreds and hundreds of other games, which of course is a nice incentive to try other games and makes it easier to access other games. For example, in the past, it has always been an obstacle to have people buy Reforged, as it's very expensive, still $30 after the release for this botched game. Now with the Game Pass, people can play and try it and join W3 Champions for just $9.99, which is a lot easier and a lot more accessible. So another thing here is the $69 billion number was, by the way, confirmed by Bloomberg here. Insane. Absolutely insane numbers. They also state Activision CEO Bobby Kotick will continue to serve in the role of Activision Blizzard CEO. This is probably the worst news that we get from this, as Bobby Kotick, of course, was heavily criticized for how he ran Activision Blizzard in basically all regards. We reported on this, especially in our podcast. The working environment at Activision Blizzard wasn't necessarily the best recently, and I think a lot of people had high hopes that he would be kicked, but apparently that is not the case at the moment. But there is some hope, as Microsoft was, when all the news broke out about the harassment, the lawsuits regarding Blizzard and Activision. He was heavily criticizing Bobby Kotick and everybody who's in charge at Blizzard. They were reevaluating the relationship with Activision. And yeah, this could mean that they just finalize the merger or the acquisition, leave Bobby in charge until then, and then boot him to not have any extra stress. But this is all speculation on this side. We have a video, an article by Video Games Chronicle that kind of sum up all the comments that Spencer did towards Activision Blizzard when all this came out. Yeah, he was heavily criticizing, but he also said that it's not his job to punish other companies. But yeah, you don't have to read between the lines that he wants the working environment at Microsoft a little different than what was reported. So the question here is, will Spencer stay true to the comments that he did in November and a little earlier, or will the Kotick regime just continue at Activision Blizzard, which would be the worst? I think everybody reading this news is hoping for a breath of fresh air. Everybody wants that these fallen franchises like StarCraft, like Warcraft 3 especially, get an injection maybe, and will be restored, and we'll get a couple of updates. But I guess for now, we shouldn't expect too much. Daniel Ahmad reports on Twitter, Microsoft says the Activision Blizzard deal is expected to close in the fiscal year of 2023. This is the period between July 2022 and June 2023. So it could all go pretty fast, and then we might have some news and changes in 4 months, or it takes more than a year for this to be done. And yeah, I'm not sure if this acquisition will come through just like that. There's probably some antitrust laws that will have their eyes on it to see if this is too big of a monopoly or not. We see on Twitter as well that a couple of employees at Blizzard were quite surprised by this. One guy, Josh Allen, that we personally met, was very surprised. Another guy calling himself Holinka on Twitter says, I just want to come to work and do work like normal for a day. So yeah, the employees at Activision Blizzard, caught by surprise, didn't really know that this would be happening. So this is the news, this is the facts, this is what we know. As I said already, if Warcraft 3 ends up on Game Pass, that is an easier entry for people, for new people into the game. What else does this mean? Nobody knows. Especially if Bobby Kotick stays the CEO of Activision Blizzard, we shouldn't assume anything changes, except, yeah, like worst case is, there's two worst cases, I think. One is they implement Warcraft 3 into the Game Pass, but nix Warcraft 3 champions and say, okay, it's a Game Pass now, you can't run this anymore. I don't think this is gonna happen, because they're also publishing Age of Empires, and they had a platform called Woobly, which is basically a third-party server for Age of Empires, and they let it run for a long, long time. So I think the risk of that is very small. They could just forget about Warcraft 3 at all, and make it impossible to purchase it, and not put it into Game Pass, and then no new players could join. But I guess that is also very, very unlikely. That is my worst case. A reasonable thought is they put Reforged into Game Pass, and then you pay $9.99 a month to try it out. Of course, you can still buy that game if you really like it, and don't go by the monthly subscription, because that would make things even more expensive than it already is. will they inject new life into this? When Microsoft had their hands on Age of Empires, what people told me is that they cared really well about it. The remasters were very good. They stayed true to the franchise. They came up with good quality of life improvements, also decent graphic improvements. Like the remasters of Age of Empires were always very good. So will they put time and money and developers onto that project? I don't know. Probably not. Like, it would just be a sign of goodwill to take this dumpster fire that was the Reforged launch and turn it into something good. Maybe, like, I have no idea what's going on. I'm just speculating here, right? But it might be reasonable to reach out to people like War3 Champions or the Quenching mod to acquire what they worked on in the past 2 years and implement it to what they have. To the vanilla Reforged, basically. That could be relatively cheap. I don't know if it's working like that. If you could just take one piece of software and put it into another piece of software and then it works. But that would be a rather cheap way to improve the product. And as I said, basically, I don't think it will drive crazy sales or they will implement big skin shops or something. But sign of goodwill, hey, we even care about you guys and we make what we have a little bit better. And then of course the dream is they pick up Reforged in that broken state that it is and they reforge it. But we shouldn't get our hopes too high for that. Easy entry with Game Pass would be great. Picking up War3 Champions and maybe listen to people in the community. Maybe fund some tournaments here and there. I mean, Microsoft is getting more and more into esports, as you can see with Age of Empires and I think also Halo. But they will have their focus, like the list of priorities. We are at the very, very bottom of that. Far below StarCraft 2, I think. Definitely far below a Call of Duty. So if we get something, nice. But the thing is, can it get really worse for us? I don't think so. We either stay the abandoned stepchild or something good comes out of this. These are the big questions. Like, when will this acquisition be finalized? Will Bobby Kotick remain CEO? Because if that's the case, we can just scratch all of our dreams. And will they pick up our beautiful game and turn it into something good as the ultimate dream, as they did with Age of Empires, and maybe go for something like a StarCraft 3 or a Warcraft 4 or whatever. Kind of fascinating though, if you tell someone who grew up the way we did, that at some point, like we were living StarCraft, we were living Warcraft, and if you tell someone that Microsoft in 2022 will publish pretty much every single big RTS that there is, and they will own the most renowned RTS franchises, maybe except Command & Conquer, that's pretty wild news, and I guess you would be put in a nut house for that if you say that to someone in 2005, 2010, 2015 even. But okay, until then, this is the news we got today. And then there's only one remaining question. What race does Bill Gates play? Is he a Night Elf? Is he an Orc? Is he an Undead? Is he a human? Comment what you think Bill Gates is playing. What is your hopes from this Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard? What is your fear? And what do you think would be reasonable? See you with more news and more games and more Warcraft on this very channel. Thank you very much.